Hey, welcome in. Well, when you see a headline like this, Black Lives Matter stands in solidarity with Jussie Smollett, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. I mean, clearly this doesn't help their cause. Everybody knows that he did something really bad, and he did it out of self-interest. And when we see that opposition towards BLM has been steadily rising, it would seem that perhaps it's just not the best idea. But the thing about BLM is that it's always been a Trojan horse for Marxism. They were very clever, and they took a slogan that nobody can disagree with, and they used it as a front to push Marxism. And it's not like it was hidden. I mean, here, Black Lives Matter co-founder describes herself as trained Marxist. This is before she went on a house buying spree, by the way. We can see her on the Black Lives Matter webpage. Let's see, they're against white Christmas, they're for Black Christmas. You've got their statement here of their support for Jussie Smollett. Here down on the homepage, it says this is for their Black Christmas thing. Black Friday sales are being rolled out weeks in advance of Thanksgiving, and at every turn, white supremacist capitalism is telling us to spend our money on things that we don't need, to reap profits for corporations, blah, blah, blah. Now, I do think that we spend, myself included, too much money on stuff we don't need, but that doesn't mean that capitalism itself is bad. But they make it pretty clear. They're against capitalism. That's their main thing. Now, of course, they're not above selling merch. And of course, they have a donate button here. And I think probably at this point, maybe that's what they've just turned into. It's just a fundraising organization. It's just a way to raise large salaries for the people running it. And we've probably got a bit of a communism for thee, but not for me kind of thing going on here. But if BLM has just become a kind of quasi-Marxist, but not above loving money organization, this all makes sense. They've got their story and they're sticking to it. And the people at the top do very well for themselves, and the people below them need to be fed rhetoric. And here it is. BLM leader Melina Abdullah called trial a, quote, white supremacist charade. Well, what isn't these days, right? You know, thing is, those words don't really mean anything anymore. If everything is that, nothing is that. And all it really means is destroy capitalism, but buy our t-shirts first. So let's see, this Melina Abdullah, she's a former California State University professor. Who could have guessed this person was a professor, but a former professor? I guess BLM pays more. But this is a police abolitionist who co-founded BLM Los Angeles. And she said that Smollett, who was accused of faking a racist, homophobic hate crime against himself, and this was, of course, to raise his profile so he could use that to leverage more money for himself and to further his career. So completely self-interested. But she said about him that, quote, he has been courageously present, visible, and vocal in the struggle for Black freedom. Really? By faking a hate crime against himself to raise his profile so he could leverage that for his own benefit. Okay, that's not how I see it. But then again, I'm not a Marxist, so I don't know, maybe that makes a difference. Quote, as abolitionists, we approach situations of injustice with love and align ourselves to our community because we got us. Okay, so if this is to do with Chicago, now talk about the murder rate there. But you're not going to do that, are you? Of course not. That's not part of the message. I mean, as long as everybody buys a BLM t-shirt before they get shot, then everybody wins. Well, I mean, except for, yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Quote, so let's be clear. We love everybody in our community. What about people who disagree with you? What about conservatives? Well, actually, hold on one more second there. What about the people in your community who had their businesses destroyed and looted, and then you celebrated it? That doesn't sound like love to me. Anyway, let's continue. It's not about a trial or a verdict decided in a, you guessed it, white supremacist charade. It's about how we treat our community when corrupt systems are working to devalue their lives. Well, it seems like the only thing corrupt here is Jussie Smollett. It seems like everything this person says is a non sequitur. It seems like this person is not really interested in something like, say, justice. It seems like maybe they're only interested in their narrative. But anyway, in an abolitionist society, this trial would not be taking place, and our communities would not have to fight and suffer to prove our worth. Again, these are just non sequiturs. They don't mean anything. And abolitionist society, like Jussie Smollett did something really bad. and he broke the law. So in an abolitionist society, does that just mean a society where there is no law? A completely lawless society? I mean, honestly, I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about. It doesn't make any sense. Well, instead, we find ourselves once again being forced to put our lives and our value in the hands of judges and juries operating in a system that is designed to oppress us. But it's not you, like there's no we there. It's just him. It's just Jussie Smollett, who faked a hate crime against himself for his own benefit. None of this is true. This is just divisive rhetoric from a divisive organization. Now, I have to believe that when normal people see stuff like this, it's not going to help BLM's approval rating whatsoever. But one thing you can be certain of, the merch store will remain. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.